Hello everyone, this is Helldiver here, and I'm going to be doing a quick overlook at some of the things coming up in Phase 2 of the Kerbin Shuttle Orbiter system. One of the things that I wanted to have for the KSO were parts for you to build satellites and space stations. So Phase 2 mainly covers space station components. And I want to load a standard KSO. This is version 6 currently. In the download, we're going to include version 7, which will have some updates as well as a new craft file to incorporate all those updates. I'm going to open the cargo bay to reveal the improved cargo bay that we have in Block 7, which lowers the floor to fit some of the newer components that are coming in Phase 2. So let's load some of those up. You're going to find most of them in utility and in science. So I'm going to go to utility for now. And one of the great things that Nazari was able to do is we built our own custom couplers and decouplers for docking, and that allowed Nazari to change the way they attach. So as you can see, these easily attach onto these points much better than the stock ones that you get. So building a satellite or loading the shuttle bay, the cargo bay, will be a lot easier with these parts. So I'm going to show you how easy this is. And all the parts that are included in Phase 2 are sized and built inside. I built them inside the cargo bay, so they're all compatible with the cargo bay. They average about 1.8 meters. And, you could put some more. You could put another docking port here to make things easier later on. This is the fuel, the KSO, the all-new KSO fuel extension module. And that extends your RCS and your fuel in case you're doing longer missions or you're trying to get further away than just orbit. If you're trying to go like to another planet or something, then you'd probably load it up with the auxiliary fuel supply. Let's take this off and let's put, for example, the station service tug. This guy will probably want another docking bay, there we go, and then there. It's still a lot easier than other ways that we've built things. You'll probably put one there and probably put something else in there. So a lot easier than using those, than using some of the stock docking components. So this time let's build something else. Say for example, if we were going to take up a truss, and that will probably be in structural, and we'll want to put another square docking docking port. And then we'll want to put some solar arrays on there, for example. Now, these barely fit, but you can get them in there. In fact, there you go, see? It's pretty good. You could probably put one on top. Not sure. And oh yeah, you should be able to put one on the bottom also. But there you go. You've got your solar array for your station. And we include quite a few of them. Some of them are specific to like the octagonal truss. So like this one, you want to probably put it on this bad boy over here. Of course, I'm putting it in wrong, but you probably would use it for this piece. Like if you're extending your space station, or you want to build a scaffolding that holds a bunch of panels, you'd probably use something like this. We also include small docking ports like this one. And this one's been fitted to the front of the nose cone. Oh, whoops. That was a standard one. There you go. So it's been perfectly fitted in there. All of our docking ports have have the ChemCore glow lights in them. If you wanted that option, as an example. You know, you could probably go in here and build you could probably build your own satellite using the stock parts. And again, these docking ports that are included in Phase 2 are going to make that significantly easier. Obviously, your stations are going to be different. So we just set this out here just to test the different functions and verify the textures and so on and so forth. So yours will probably be larger and more expansive and have more accessories to it. But I'm going to show you some of the functions of some of the external functions of the station service tug. Like the KSO, you can't turn on the lights from the exterior. This is mostly because they conflict with other functions, particularly anything that's animated. So that's why you have to go into the IVA and turn them on, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment. So you probably want to do a lot of these functions. You probably want to put them on an action group, such as like turning on the spotlight or extending the RCS boom. Let's retract that. The main function of the SST is to maneuver all of these components out of the KSO's cargo bay and to place them and to put those components in place. Now, I just simply put these different modules together the standard way. You probably would want to have docking ports between each one. Now, most of them should have torque already to make docking them easier. And you probably don't have to put RCS on them. That's why we're including the SST, so that you can use that So you can use the RCS on the SST to maneuver your components into place. So let's take a look inside the station service tug. And it features a cockpit similar to the KSO. It has all the similar functions, and you could probably even use this as a command pod if you wanted. So we've got all the analog gauges, and we've got RCS functions and torque functions. You got your throttle, got your control stick, and over here you'll see a red button that says power. That turns on the external lights. So as you can see, they're on now. So yeah, the reason why you can't turn on the lights from the outside in the KSO or in this vehicle or any vehicle that I do is because we're limited in terms of how many functions we can do. And if we put too many functions on a vehicle, they conflict with each other. So I know a lot of people want to be able to turn on lights and do things from the outside, but light is one of those things that's an extra bonus thing. It's not necessary. So all the lights I'm asking is already to put them inside for you to turn them inside, which is a little more realistic anyway. So we include 2 raster prop monitors in here, and you can set these to whatever you want. ADI, got your orbital display, just like you're probably used to. You got your primary flight display. We include some very good cameras to help you dock and maneuver around. Nizar even put one camera up on the boom, so you can see as you're docking up to something, you can see if you're aligned correctly and so on and so forth. So here we are in the habitat module, and we have a laptop in front of us. It's loading, goes into the main menu, runs raster prop monitor. You can pull up the same screens that you're used to, and raster prop monitor will come up. So you can use this as information resources and so on and so forth. Let's continue going back. Now, you will see these little cameras in the various modules. And you can double click on them. And you'll get a nice overhead view of your Kerbals. Let's continue down the line. And this is the hydroponics laboratory. And you have a laptop in here, just the same. You want to click on the bottom edge of the laptops to both start them and shut them down. Same functions. Now you can go to, oh, we even have the same camera functions if you have any cameras installed. You have the same thing, you know, you've got your plugin support if you have any plugins installed. It will not pull up an ADI, obviously, because you're on a laptop. This is not a primary flight instrument. Now, again, you have that camera, overhead camera, if you wanted to get an overhead view of your Kerbal scientists working on their experiments. We've got the specimen analyzers going there. Now, say we wanted to look inside that microscope. Ooh, we can see what they're looking at. in there. Probably studying some kind of plant, probably chlorophyll, plant cellular action or something. There's the other workstation. This is the Kerbal lab. Same thing, we've got a laptop in there. And you've got also a microscope in here. Probably studying the effects of Kerbin and trying to reproduce caffeine or whatever. And you get there by clicking on these props. Clicking on the, for example, if you want to look through the microscope, you click on the microscope. Sometimes you got to click once, sometimes you got to click twice. Sometimes you got to double click. And it's just kind of weird. For example, one click opens the laptop, for example. But to get to the camera, you have to double click. So the general rule of thumb is, if it's a camera, you double click. If it's a function like turning something on or an animation of some sort, you click once. And it looks like they've got some beakers going in there, boiling. And this is the other side. Okay, moving along here on our tour of the Phase 2 satellite components. This is the front seat of the observation module. Now, it's not very interesting, obviously, because we're sitting on the runway at KSC. And I imagine most of you guys are going to put this up in space somewhere, park it up there, get a nice view of Kerbin. You got a handy cam, and you've got a photographic camera. Move it out of the way. And there are two clickable cameras in here. You've got this one up here. And you've got this overhead one here. And just so you know, if you look to the left on this camera, there is a light button here. And I know it's hard to find, but if you hit that light button, that turns on the lights on the outside of the observation module. And this is our final seat, the one on the other side of the front seat there. And this also includes a raster prop monitor. This observation deck is not a command module currently, and I don't plan on making it one, so it's not like you can use this as a spacecraft command pod. But I still included a raster prop monitor in here, so laptop, so you can, you know, put one of your favorite screens on here and monitor things. I have a problem saying that word, monitor. Let's get that overhead view. All right. There we go. That gives you kind of like an over-the-shoulder view. And then there's one more view in here, and this is mostly for taking pictures of the cosmos. And you get to this view by double-clicking that octagonal front part. So you see that octagonal area here. You just double-click on that, and you would be able to see all around on all those windows. You can even look ahead. Now it looks upside down, obviously, because we're on the ground, but in space, that really wouldn't matter.